My name is Peter Brem, and I'm president of Friends of Baker Park. Friends of Baker Park is a nonprofit, volunteer community service organization dedicated to fostering community involvement with Frederick City government in the sustainable preservation, restoration, use, and maintenance of Baker Park. In this capacity, and with deep, deep thanks to Ed Bluenauer, whose generous bequest allowed Friends of Baker Park to initiate this effort, I am proud that we have been able to serve as a catalyst for support of the Culler Lake Renaissance from not only state, county, and city stakeholders, but also from numerous state and community agencies, nonprofits, civic organizations, and individuals. It really does take a village. I want especially to call your attention to the restored Culler Lake fountain behind me. Reduced to a crumbling pile of rock and mortar with an anemic spray leaking from its top, this iconic wedding cake centerpiece of the lake has been rebuilt from the lake bottom with state-of-the-art materials and equipment, including a new, larger pump and lighting that will create a dramatic new focal point. We owe thanks to the many neighbors and organizations that helped fund this effort, including at this time Dr. George and Carolyn Smith, Terry and Robin Cook, Bernard and Denise Gwen, Cap and Nancy Klein, and Clearwater Landscape and Nursery. With gratitude to past and current Friends of Baker Park board members for their untiring support and efforts, tonight is the culmination of 5 years of planning, grant writing, budget hearings, fundraising, and construction as we rededicate a restored Culler Lake approximately 75 years after its first dedication. I invite the Friends of Baker Park Culler Lake project manager Michael Pascalsi to come up and share with us additional information about Culler Lake. As he does so, I want to note that Lloyd Culler descendant William Moore Jr., who died a year ago, bequeathed funds to help restore the Culler Memorial Bench, which will be part of our Phase 2 effort. Further, 3 of Mayor Lloyd Culler's descendants still live in Frederick: Jamie Rhodes, Michael Rhodes, and Betsy Handley. My understanding is that Jamie and Betsy are in fact with us tonight, which is quite an honor. Jamie and Betsy, would you please raise your hands? Great. I'd also like to note that a descendant of Joseph Dill Baker, who is our patron for the entire park, is with us tonight, and that's Jerry Hicks. Jerry, would you raise your hand? Again, we stand on the shoulders of giants, and I think those two families represent the best that Frederick can offer, certainly families that we can all emulate. I'd also like to single out Michael. Michael, where are you? I'd like to single out Michael Pascalsi for his tremendous, sustained, thorough, and professional contributions as the project manager from the Friends of Baker Park board. The next time we do this, I want Michael on my team. So, Michael, please come on up.
And of course, Peter, you know, this is only Phase 1. There's another Phase 2, so there's more to come. Hey, what a great turnout today. What a beautiful night. And I was thinking about 78 years ago when work began on Culler Lake in 1938. The Works Project Administration turned what was once a spring-fed goldfish pond into the 3.5-acre lake we see today. Community pride was evident at the lake's dedication in January 1940. The governor of Maryland, a host of dignitaries. Believe it or not, the Maryland National Guard Band was there performing the Star-Spangled Banner, and a shivering crowd of 2,000 citizens were here, all gathered to honor 7-term Mayor Lloyd Culler. 7 terms. That's, I think, before any notion of term limits were popular. And also there was 3-year-old Charles Culler Rhodes, and he unveiled the bronze plaque recognizing his grandfather's years of distinguished and constructive public service. You can still see that plaque today on the stone bench over by West College Terrace. But by all accounts, the real highlight of that dedication day was the performance by 2 championship ice skaters who performed here on the frozen lake. So anybody want to see ice skating on Culler Lake again? But today's project builds proudly on the work of a previous generation. It employs modern techniques to improve stormwater management and improve the water quality. It's a testament to this community's continuing conservation ethic, and we're glad to see you all here today. It's an example of how a local initiative can improve our quality of life and help solve a more pressing problem, namely improving the health of the Chesapeake Bay downstream. Well, naturally, such a feat is the work of many minds, hands, and as you saw, lots and lots of heavy equipment. Drawing on the 2012 Culler Lake Renaissance Plan developed by Diocampo Associates, the Friends of Baker Park received a grant from the Chesapeake Bay Trust to develop a 21st century master plan. We hired Frederick Associates to work with our community and city staff to develop a two-phased approach to accomplish the work. Clearwater Landscape Design and Nursery provided the design for the new fountain in the same wedding cake style as the original, but as you'll see in a little bit, with a lot more bells and whistles. So I'd like to recognize Mike Rempe and Abby Herman. Are they here from Clearwater? Not sure. And also Keith Moore, Steve Zorotich, and Doug Herzl from Frederick Associates. Are you guys around? Back over here. These have been our stalwart partners for 2 years plus, and we'll be expecting even more things out of them for phase 2. But the Culler Lake project has been the beneficiary of significant community support, notably the Joseph D. Baker Fund, the Delaplane Foundation, the Community Foundation of Frederick County, the Green-Walled Garden Club, and the Men's Garden Club of Frederick County all made generous contributions. Public Works Director Zach Kirshner, Deputy Directors Mark Stokowski and Bob Smith, and their dedicated staff, including Tracy Coleman and Candy Fullerman, were instrumental in reviewing the specifications for the contract and selecting a contractor. Former Director Rolke Myers was an ardent supporter of the project, and on a day-to-day basis, City Project Manager Ron Wingfield oversaw the work, along with Chip Stitley and Nicole Harshman, inspecting the job site and providing essential quality assurance. The project benefited from a strong endorsement of our elected officials, too. Our state delegation, including Galen Claggett, Ron Young, Carol Krim, Karen Lewis Young, were instrumental in acquiring state funds. Mayor McClement and the Board of Aldermen were champions of the idea and allocated funds from the capital improvement budget to accomplish this work. Although much has been accomplished, we know there are still some needed improvements, and a second phase is in the planning stage to enhance the aesthetic quality of Culler Lake, and to restore the Culler Memorial Bench, and to develop some interpretive signage regarding the history, ecology, and significance of this cherished landmark. We anticipate there'll be a new entrance plaza along West College Terrace, back over that way, a major redesign of the 2nd Street sidewalk back behind me. And we're also happy that the Rotary Club of Carroll Creek is planning to construct a pavilion on the west end of the lake as their next major project. But we're going to need your support. We will need your financial support for this to come true. And you can bet that we're keeping track. Everybody's here. We got your name and number. And you'll be hearing from us as we outreach for some community funding. Well, we may not have the marching band today here, even though they were earlier practicing back behind us. But the enthusiasm and pride of Culler Lake is unquestionable. This project is our generation's legacy to the future. And we're delighted that you took time out today to join us for this dedication. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. And with apologies, we had a teleprompter failure in my part of the program, and I omitted a list of very generous donors. So I'd like to add to the list that I gave you some folks who helped contribute to the fountain, including the Joseph D. Baker Fund, the Community Foundation of Frederick County, Larry and Mary Marsh, the Delaplane Foundation, the Greenwald Garden Club, Doreen Armstrong, the Men's Garden Club of Frederick County, Neil and Kathy Fay, Alan and Charlotte Meyerhofer, Dr. Edward and Robin Thompson, Jim and Yvonne Wrench, Michael Paskalski and Jane Tallarico, Joe and Elke Dorr, Clarence and Jan Redder, and Sue and Richard Basford. So I apologize for not including that on the original list, but as you see, we've had quite extensive support. Mr. Mayor, we're ready for you.
Good evening, everyone. What a gorgeous evening. Thank the Friends of Baker Park for the weather today. Perfect. We will take 80 degrees from here all the way through March of next year. Welcome, everyone. Again, absolute fantastic crowd here today. I was just telling Peter as I turned around and looked behind myself, there's people way down there, so hi, people down there. This is great. This shows the interest and the importance of this project. This is, just look at, from my vantage point, I get to see all spans of ages and people who are interested in this park. So again, thank you all very much for coming out. I also like to recognize some elected officials that are here. We have with us, I know somewhere I saw Alderman Russell is here. There she is. Alderman Michael O'Connor is here. There he is, back there. I think I saw Alderman Bokey. I know Alderwoman Kazemchek is on vacation, so she's not here. They haven't seen Alderman Dacey. I'd also like to recognize County Executive Jan Gardner is here. County Council Vice President Keegan Ayer is here. Thank you all very much for coming out. Just a quick note too. We'd like, Peter mentioned it, and I'd like to reemphasize, we want to thank Senator Young, Delegate Krim, and former Delegate Claggett for your support and getting bond bills for this project. Without it, this project wouldn't happen. So let's give them a big round of applause. This project was a substantial undertaking. 6,552 cubic yards of silt were removed from the lake. It was 1,092 truckloads. To give it a better perspective, it's the volume of 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. This restoration is one of Frederick's gems, was the work of many people. I'd like to acknowledge the general contractor for this project, Morgan Keller. Project manager Doug Gray and Superintendent Todd Sharp were instrumental in this project. Can give them a round of applause. I'd also like to recognize the following subcontractors: Justice Excavating, Espana Stone, General Concrete, Field Enterprises, and Pool Landscape. The coordination of this project, a project like this for the city, involves many levels of staff and many departments. I would like to commend our city staff for their hard work and dedication to this project and their ingenuity when we truly needed it. No project is without its challenges, but there were some very unique obstacles in this one, and I'm very proud of the creative problem solving that I witnessed firsthand to address the discovery of an invasive aquatic plant within the lake and the painstaking efforts to resolve the issue and prevent the plant from spreading to the creek. I would like to take an opportunity to personally recognize Nikki, Chip, and Ron from the city staff for their hard work. While Culler Lake is a stunning part of our network of city parks, the lake's primary function is stormwater management. With this upgrade to the lake, we've added the installation of a new mechanical system to filter stormwater before it enters the lake. We've also added biological systems, including 3 wetlands, to improve water quality by absorbing excess nutrients, except for those that are being deposited by our friends in the water right now. Some of the specific improvements to the lake included The reconstruction of the fountain, with its magnificent spray and dramatic lighting, aerates and cools the water. Rubble removed from the previous fountain is used to create a fish habitat. We also added submerged aquatic plants in 4 areas along the shore, as well as a new retaining wall. The multi-use paths have been upgraded around the lake, and the new boardwalk that's been installed is made of ipe, a hardy South American hardwood with a 50-year lifespan. And if you haven't seen it, it's actually absolutely gorgeous wood product. The pine trees at the west end of the lake are home to the region's only nesting spot for a population of black-crowned night herons. We hope to release sunfish and largemouth bass in the spring and early summer for the herons to feed on, helping to support this habitat for the birds. So as you can see, not only are the improvements to the lake aesthetically pleasing, we've also made significant environmental improvements with this project. What we do upstream has an impact downstream, and we want to be conscious of these impacts. With this project, we're doing our part to help improve the Chesapeake Bay. I've heard from longtime Frederick residents about their memories spent here at Culler Lake. Stories of romantic strolls, family fishing adventures, and chilly afternoons spent ice skating on the lake. The improvements we celebrate today create the opportunity for even more wonderful memories for future generations to come. Now with that, it is my honor and privilege to cue the fountains. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for your support. Thank you again for joining us tonight. And please enjoy Culler Lake on the Path Forward basis. Good evening.